What's up guys, and welcome back to more Pokemon Sun and Moon coverage, and today I thought we'd have a look at some more Alola Form ideas, and this is mainly going to be a sort of a spotlight video, as I'm going to call it. Basically, I'm not going like through a line of Pokemon or talking about sort of theoretically or what's most likely to have an Alola form. I basically looked around on DeviantArt and stuff like that and sort of looked for amazing and awesome Alola form designs I really like, and just pulled them through, put them in this video, and I'm going to talk through them, talk about whether I'd like it or not, sort of thing. Obviously most of them is true, but of course since it's based on art stuff, obviously all the links to all the art will be down below, or at least the art, the producers of the art down below in the description there. So be sure to check them out, but we shall jump straight into this. First up we have an evolution to look at, actually. It's from Kate on Twitter. This is an Alola Leafeon, which I think is actually really funky. You can see here the design. So instead of having sort of the leaves as part of its body almost, with the ears and the tail, she's changed it to have basically like a fern for the tail and the ears, which I really like. And obviously we also got these flowers sort of appearing over the body, dotted around and stuff like that. So I really like that. Whether evolutions should get Alola forms, it's a bit iffy, because of course if you give it for one evolution, really you should give it to all of them, because then it's a full evolution line. Yes, okay, you can argue for sort of like a split evolution line for like Gallade and Gardevoir. Yes, okay, if you give it to Gardevoir, you don't necessarily have to give it to Gallade, but you're more inclined to. And then of course, if you have one evolution, you have to feel like you have to do it for all the rest almost. So I'm not sure if it will really happen at all, but it would be really cool to see a Leafeon like this, have a sort of different style, because obviously you can just take the leaves, switch them out for a different sort of plant or a different leaf in general, and it works pretty well. Kate didn't give this a typing, particularly. Of course, it could stay pure grass, and it could just be literally a sort of an aesthetic change. But of course, it seems like Alola Forms is not just variants, like have been going around for a while, sort of it's changing out the leaves and the flowers and such on Pokemon without changing the type. It seems like new forms, sort of exactly. So it seems like there has to be a type change almost, at least some sort of type change for the form to happen. So for this one, I just picked out Grass Fairy. I guess that would work the best, because obviously the flowers seem to relate to fairy typing, so that sort of works there. And of course you get a better moveset with fairy type moves and such. But that's that. We shall move on to another set of forms. These are two that I found on Tumblr. Again, they will be linked or down below in the description, of course. But these are actually Coughing and Wheezing Alola forms, and when I first saw these designs, I was like, whoa, that's a bit weird. Not good, But when I read further into it about why they done what they did, basically, I was really intrigued by it. Actually, this is from Shiny Reckless on Tumblr, and this is obviously Alola Coughing and Wheezing. Coughing would be a water type, and then a Wheezing would be a water fairy type. Now, the description they've given is really cool. In the Alola region, people and Pokemon alike pride themselves on keeping the environment clean and pollution-free. Due to this, Coughing and Wheezing were banned from entering the region, but trainers still smuggled the poison gas Pokemon to the islands. However, with a lack of air pollution to feed on, they had to adapt quickly. Instead of spewing noxious fumes, they blow soapy bubbles. Their bodies are porous and spongy. Instead of expanding with gas, they expand or shrink with moisture. A single Alola and Wheezing's bubble can keep you clean all day. You won't even need to shower. And so, so the idea behind that is really cool, and air pollution linking into how Coughing and Wheezing interact with their environment. So I really liked it, and the designs look pretty funky as well. They don't look any worse than a normal Coughing and Wheezing in terms of weirdness. So I really do like that, actually. It's sort of something that really just appealed to me for some reason. Then, moving on, we have two designs here from Smiley Fakemon on DeviantArt, so again, link down below. And this is for an Alola Salacious and Gothita. They only currently have uploaded, sort of the base forms, but I really like the idea for it. The idea was for Alola Form Salacious being a water type, and for Alola Form Gothita being a fire type. So Reuniclus, just imagine Reuniclus as a water type, so instead of being like a psychic type with its weird body, you have basically its body being water, with its inner body inside that sort of bubble of water, which I think really sort of it's just I would love to see that. And obviously similar thing with Gothitelle, adding a fire type twist to it, somewhat similar to Braixen, I guess, but with a bit more sort of, maybe make it into a fire dark type in the end. I don't know what Salacious would turn into in the end, maybe like a water psychic, but it's a bit sort of similar to the original one. But yeah, still sort of really like that. And the descriptions again for these two are pretty cool. Alola and Salacious have adopted the water type after they were forced to live in the sea due to the harsh sunlight and Alola drying, slowly evaporating their cellular body. Their new aquatic body provides more bulk at the cost of raw power. so it would be more defensive but less sort of offensive. And then for Alola and Gothita, they've adopted the fire type in order to survive the amount of heat their bodies absorbed in the harsh sunlight. Their new vibrant stars allows for quicker movement at the cost of defensive capabilities, so faster but with lower defense, and I really like that. Of course, as I said, they haven't made the Duosion and the rest of the line for either one yet, so I don't know what typing if they plan to have it, gain an extra typing when it got to Salacious or Reuniclus. Or Reuniclus or Gothitelle rather. Of course, normally they're just pure psychics, so it didn't have to, but I feel like it would be really cool. But that's that one there. Moving then further, we have some, again, some designs here. This time from Logan Cure, I think. Yeah, Logan Cure. We have 4 here. First 2 being, of course, sort of ones we're expecting, Alakazam and Arcanine. We've been told that we're going to get these. So what Logan's done here is they've gone and basically just taken the sort of the rumours and made designs that fit them. So the Alakazam being a fighting type, I really like the design. I've used it in a thumbnail before, but I really do like it because obviously it's got spoons in its psychic form, but of course, how can it fight with spoons? Whereas Nunchucks works out pretty damn well. I would love to see that happen. Obviously the black that hang down its waist as well looks really cool. So similar sort of body style in general, just fitted to fighting. Similar thing for Arcanine, similar body style, except they've taken out sort of the fur and given it fins. And it just looks really cool. I could totally see that happening. Of course, a very similar design you'd get for Growlithe. And then, of course, the other 2 is again another one we're expecting, which is Neoking, which is supposed to be a poison fighting or a fighting poison type, and I really love that. Like, that looks amazing. It's completely different to normal Neoking because normal Neoking is purple, but this is sort of like a really red-purple sort of mix, and the fighting type just it fits right onto it. You can sort of see the change between normal and in this form here, which I really do love. So I hope we get something similar to this because it looks awesome. And of course Persian as well. We know we've got a male for Alola Forms, so we're assuming we're going to get a Persian one too, and we're assuming it's going to be a pure dark as well. And so that design works, perfectly, fits in perfectly well there. I could totally see it happening. And we move on again to some more, again, from someone else. These are from Fatmons, Fatmon on DeviantArt, again, link down below. First up we have Alola Arbok and Alola Golduck. Alola Arbok being a poison dragon type and Alola Golduck being a water psychic type. 2 types that I've suggested before when looking at mega evolutions possibly, because we know that we don't know, but we really hope that dragon will work really well for an Arbok, I believe, especially with these design changes they made. And Psychic really just should be part of Golduck's typing anyway. Whether or not this is a change enough, because obviously these are just adding types on rather than changing much of the design. This Golduck looks a lot like, I would say, a Mega Golduck, so I'm not amazingly keen on it. But the Arbok I do like quite a bit, because it looks like original Arbok, but there are changes to make it sort of, dragon-like. In terms of backstory, I don't think they've given them any, but of course, Arbok, you could say, like, living on Alola, there are a lot of powerful dragon types. So maybe it evolved to fight them, because obviously Dragon v Dragon is pretty good, and Water Psychic for Golduck, who knows, maybe I can't come up with anything for that, but there could be some things you can come up with. If you have any ideas, let us know down below, guys. That would be pretty cool. But moving on, still on Fatmon here, we have a Dragonite, Alola Dragonite, which people have asked for, because Dragon Water would be an amazing typing for it, I feel. Lose the fighting type rather, and have Water Dragon, make it look very sort of similar to Dragonair, because obviously we have the Serpentine leading up with Dratini, Dragonair. And instead of getting the flying type, getting wings, just make it like Dragonair, make it Serpentine, similar to the zone, just carry it across. I feel like Dragon Water would be pretty good, just obviously the backstory being, it lives in the water now, because obviously that's where Dratini lives originally, so it would make sense there. Then moving on with more, we have Sudowoodo from Generation 2, basically getting a coconut design, which I feel like would obviously fit the Alola region pretty well, and getting the grass type rather, as well as the rock type. Again, I'm not sure if this would be a big enough change, because obviously it's just adding on the grass type, but it looks pretty cool, the design, so I do quite like that there. And then of course we have Alola Flygon as well, so just another way to give Flygon the bug dragon typing, which everyone desperately wants. Right now it's ground dragon, just switch out the ground for the bug. In terms of backstory for that, obviously Sudowoodo can just adapt to look like coconut trees because it's in the Alola region, which I'm sure has some coconut trees as well as palm trees. And Flygon's backstory, don't ask me. Who knows? Maybe, I have no idea, but maybe it just evolved in terms of landscape. Who knows? But that's that there. I'm just going to move swiftly on, and now move on to a good few designs actually from Locomotive 111 on DeviantArt. They've done loads of designs here, and I really do like them all. First up, we have the Budew, Roselia, and Roseroid line in Alola forms, which all look really cool. Sort of Hawaii and Alola, they're really related to flowers, and we've told that the future of Pokemon is flowers. So these guys getting Alola forms wouldn't be like too weird. But these are actually grass ghost types, so instead of poison just being ghost, I feel like that fits the sort of design as well. You can see Roseroid especially having this mystical cloak around it would fit it well with the ghost typing. In terms of ability, I haven't spoken about abilities too much so far because they're not really as important, I would feel, as typing. But Locomotive here has given Budew Effect Spore, Roselia Flower Veil, and then Roseroid Astral Blade, which I believe is a new ability to come up with. Just quickly check what Astral Blade does. Causes Roseroid's physical moves to calculate off its special attack stats, so basically makes all its moves special, which is really, really powerful. But that is that, yeah. But I do like these designs, and I could see it happening definitely. Moving further on, then we have Sceptile, which getting the Alola form, I don't think it's going to happen because obviously it's a starter. If you do it for one, again, it's a similar thing you have to do it for all of them. But Sceptile, grass flying type for the Alola form, I feel like it would be really amazing. Giving it the ability Gale Wings as well, is what Locomotive suggested here. I feel like that's just amazing, Lose, obviously it was a pure grass anyway, but gain the flying type, give it Gale Wings so it can do some, flying type stuff, and obviously Mega Sceptile, as we possibly expect if Megas are going to carry over, which I certainly hope they do. I expect like if Alakazam gets a fighting type Alola form, there was also a fighting type Mega Alakazam for Alola form as well. So I guess similar for Sceptile, maybe instead of Grass Dragon, just keep the grass flying and then have some sort of changes there. Who knows? But that is Sceptile. More home Pokemon next. We have Mawile next up, being a grass fairy type. You can see here, instead of having its sort of mouth on top of its head, it has its mask. Maybe the mouth is still contained in the mask, because that would sort of fit in. It would be a way to take away the mouth completely. But I do like the idea of putting the mask on it. Really fits in with Alola and Hawaii and such. And obviously switching out the steel typing for the grass typing fits pretty well, I suppose, as well. And then we have Tropius. With a pure grass typing, you can see here it's got loads more fruit basically. It's lost its wings and you just got fruit bundled around it. Pure grass, I guess that works pretty well. Losing the flying type is decent enough for a Tropius. Obviously Executor, just switch Psychic to Dragon for its Alola form. So losing a typing would be pretty good, just to relate to the fact that obviously Tropius is now growing a lot more fruit, so it can't really fly about, I suppose. But yes, that is that. Moving then on to, we have the Generation 5, or Unova. First up we have Alola Lilligant, which is Grass Fire type. Now, of course, I would love to see Alola form for Sunfloor, which is Grass Fire, because it makes a lot of sense. It's Sun, and we're in Sun and Moon. But Grass Fire on Alola form Lilligant would be pretty good as well. Ability here is just as Flash Fire too, which I think would be pretty good. But I do love that sort of just the fire, sort of coming off the end of the back of its, head, I suppose. And it fits in again with the Alola region being hot, I suppose, so it just adapted to be able to withstand fire type attacks, I suppose, and become part fire type itself, even though it keeps the grass typing, so that's pretty cool. Then we have Alola Galurk. Now, I don't like the typing for this one, which is Ground Fairy, but I do love the design. Again, using the mask, basically looking like a tiki monster, or whatever you want to call it. It looks really cool. Obviously, the sort of relation. We know that Galurk was made by mankind, it was created by mankind, so on Alola they just designed it after, masks and stuff, so that would be a perfect link in there. As I said though, I don't like the Ground Fairy typing, maybe like Ground Fire, because obviously it does have the fire on its shoulders. I don't know what else you really give it though, instead of Ground Ghost, change the ghost out of something else, or maybe make it Rock something, Rock Fire instead of Ground Fairy, who knows though. Who knows? Moving on to actually another Pokemon, we have Bisharp here in its Alolan form, which again looks really cool because it's based off sort of masks and stuff you might see on Alola region. And instead of being Steel Dark, it's now Steel Fighting, which I think is pretty good. Apparently its abilities are Gooey or Moxie. I didn't know how Gooey sort of really fits into it there, but Moxie works pretty well because obviously it's its ability anyway for Bisharp. But Gooey, who knows really what that is. Here we are. The Alolan Bisharp also secretes a slippery oil that makes it tough for its foes to grab a hold of it. So, based on sort of statues and stuff, the oil, I guess, is the Gooey link there. But yeah, steel fighting works pretty well, I suppose. Just make it bulk up a bit, take away the dark stuff, and I do like the design here, so that is pretty cool. Local Metals has made some other designs too. As well, from Gen 5 we have Scraggy and Scrafty in their Alola forms. I'm not too keen on them though, because they are just surfing on surfboards, but of course do check that out if you're going to check out his DeviantArt, or his or her DeviantArt I should say. And then finally we have some Generation 6 Pokemon with their Alola forms, and this is Honedge, Doublade and Aegislash, which are steel water types, just sort of linking in with the fact there, but again they're using masks, you can see, for the design, which I think looks really, really cool. The reason why they're water type, a lone weaponry is made of incredibly durable wood, and the teeth of Carnivorous sea Pokemon shows a Sharpedo, so apparently the Aegislash and Alola are created by water spirits inhabiting these weapons, so that's why it has, water typing rather than ghost typing, because they are water spirits. But I really like the design for all three of these. Obviously a curved sort of scimitar sword for Honedge looks amazing. The mask on the Doublade, so similar design but with the mask in the middle of it, looks amazing. And then finally Aegislash, just the mask looks incredible. I really do love it. But there's the last three forms that we're looking at today. Let me know what you think about them all, guys. Are these designs awesome? Because I think they're awesome. And which of these would you like to see to be real? As I said in previous videos, I think it's just going to be sort of kept to Kanto, at least for the first sort of set of them. So I don't really know if we're going to get anything like Gen 5 or Gen 6 stuff. But let me know if you'd like to see that. And of course, don't forget to check out all the artists down below. I'll leave links to all of their areas, Twitters and DeviantArts down below there. But yes, that's going to be it for me for today. I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.